The rain over Seattle had turned vicious that night. Heavy clouds smothered the sky. Lightning cracked across the horizon, and the old mansion stood like a forgotten monument swallowed by darkness. Inside it, Detective Arion Vale stepped out of the narrow hidden room he had just uncovered. A room filled with dust, old boxes, and a wooden case carved with a symbol he recognized from his father's notebook. His hands trembled slightly as he walked through the dim corridor, not from fear, but from the weight of the truth pressing against his chest. For 20 years he had believed his father was dead. A tragic disappearance, a closed story, a chapter he had forced himself to bury as a child. But the photograph he found earlier, a black-and-white picture of the victim standing beside Arion's missing father, had ripped open that chapter again. Now, the past flowed back like a storm, just as relentless as the one raging outside. Arion moved through the mansion hallway, boots echoing against the old wooden floor. Rain slammed against the windows, and thunder shook tiny pieces of plaster loose from the ceiling. He muttered under his breath, "Why were you here, Father? And why did you disappear?" Before the silence could offer an answer, heavy footsteps rushed toward him. Captain Mason Rourke appeared, soaking wet, face red with frustration, and eyes filled with the same irritation he always held for Arion. "Vale, where have you been wandering?" Arion slipped the wooden case into his coat and answered calmly, "The killer was here recently." Rourke frowned. "Impossible. My men searched every inch." Arion stared at him. "He walked right past us, and he left something behind." Rourke opened his mouth to argue, but a young officer appeared, breathless. "Detective Vale, new message for you." He handed Arion a phone. On the screen, a fresh text glowed like a threat carved into the night. "The end begins where the truth was buried. Come alone. Pier 19. Arion checked the time. 11:32 p.m. The message was set for 11:45 p.m. He didn't hesitate. He walked straight past Rourke, straight out of the mansion, straight into the storm. Pier 19, the calling. Pier 19 was a rusted skeleton of wood and steel, caught between the roaring sea and the dark sky. Waves smashed against the docks, the salt water spraying into the wind. Arion stepped forward slowly, his coat whipping violently in the storm. He scanned the shadows. For a moment, only the crashing waves answered him. Then a voice came, low, calm, confident. "You're punctual." A tall figure emerged from behind a support beam, limping slightly, but moving with a deliberate, unsettling grace. His coat was long and soaked, his gloved hand tight around something that shimmered blue under lightning. Arion kept his voice steady. "You've been leading me from the start." The killer chuckled. "I've been educating you, detective." Arion took a step closer. "What do you want?" "What every teacher wants, for his student to finally understand." Arion's jaw tightened. "You killed 2 people. I removed obstacles, and now I'm removing the one standing right in front of me." Arian's eyes narrowed. What obstacle? You. Lightning flashed brutally, revealing the object in the killer's hand. A jeweled dagger, exactly like the murder weapon, but this one had all its gemstones intact. The killer lifted it slowly. Your father held this dagger the night he disappeared. Arion's heartbeat thudded against his ribcage. You knew my father. The killer leaned forward. I still do. Before Arion could react, a sudden gunshot cracked through the storm. The killer staggered back, blood marking his shoulder. Captain Rourke had arrived with a gun raised. Drop the weapon! The killer didn't drop it. He hurled it. Straight at Rourke. Arion lunged, slamming Rourke out of the way just before the dagger sliced past them and buried itself into a wooden beam with a violent thud. The killer sprinted toward the end of the pier. Arion ran after him, but a boat engine roared alive in the darkness. Within seconds, the killer leapt onto the small motorboat, and its red taillights vanished into the night. Arion stopped at the edge, breath heavy, rain pouring across his face. He had escaped. Aftermath. A new trail. Police sirens echoed in the distance. Officers began surrounding the pier. Arion didn't move. His eyes scanned the planks beneath him. Something glittered near his boot. He knelt. A small blue gemstone, freshly carved, identical to the ones missing from both daggers. But this one bore a faint, engraved symbol, the same symbol etched inside his father's old notebook. A syndicate mark, a secret organization, an underground world tied to artifacts and murder. Captain Rourke approached, voice strained. Vale, you saved my life back there. Arion didn't look up. His hand tightened around the gem. The killer knows about my father. Rourke hesitated. Vale, whatever happened 20 years ago, some ghosts don't need chasing. Arion finally stood, rainwater dripping from his coat. This isn't a ghost. This is a trail. He turned toward the storm, eyes burning with determination. Case 1 may be over, but the real hunt begins now. The woman watching. Far from the chaos, a black car stood parked near the docks, rain pelting its roof like 1,000 tiny needles. Inside, a woman watched Arion through the windshield. Sharp eyes, calm expression, calculating mind. A high-tech tablet rested in her lap, its screen glowing softly in the darkness. Leora Sin. Lightning illuminated her face, a new player entering the game. Her tablet buzzed with a message. Case 2 initiated. Report to HQ. You will be working with him. Leora's lips curved into the faintest smile. So, that's Detective Vale. This is going to be interesting. Her car pulled away, its taillights fading into the storm, while Arion stood alone on the pier, holding the clue that would lead him deeper into the truth than he had ever imagined. The storm raged on, and a new chapter quietly awakened in the darkness.